Hello, welcome back to Rome Total War Barbarian Invasion. You may recall that we are currently in a little bit of a crisis situation. I think I might have slightly underplayed it in the previous part. It's looking pretty bad actually. There's this full stack of Saxons about to attack Campus Burgundii, and what we have here is a fairly weak army consisting of not really even 2 units of Barbarian cavalry, more like 2 halves of a unit. A few fairly weak archers and a few units of spear warband. We do have some berserkers, which is going to help a little bit. But then in the town we have a unit of 5 mercenary golden band, barbarian peasants, and so on and so on. So I've been thinking about it, and I think it's maybe not going to work if we just attack them off the bat. I am wondering. I'm not sure if I'm close enough here that if he decides to assault the town, I will actually come in as a reinforcement or not. I'm not sure if that even ever works. However, should he attack the town, we should be able to get quite a few kills with this army just by defending the center, and then we might be able to finish him off with what we have left. Alternatively, we take the fight and then we pull back to Campus Lombardi and retrain everything we can, even if we lose. Knowing that he cannot himself go and retrain his units in his towns because he's a long way from them, although he could of course just take Campus Burgundii and retrain them like that. So all in all, it's not looking too great, and I think what I'm actually going to do, having thought about it quite a bit, I'm going to send our faction leader out of Vicus Vandali, and we are going to recruit as many mercenaries as we can. Specifically horse archers, because I think horse archers are going to do pretty well against the kind of Saxon roster for the most part. And we are going to get as close as we can, as quickly as we can, and we might not be able to save the town, but the main thing is that we finish this guy off, we take him out, and then what the Saxons have left is probably not going to be that scary. This has got to be by far his strongest army, so we're going to focus on dealing with him. And yeah, I'm going to try and avoid spending the money until we have to, because we're going to end up paying upkeep. And as far as I'm aware, there probably isn't anyone in this particular mercenary recruitment zone. I don't know if this region is also included. That's the potential risk. But as far as I'm aware, they probably won't hire out the mercenaries themselves, the AIs I'm talking about. We do have to be a little bit careful. There are the Vandals, and I think there might be more to this. I think the Roxolani have to be near here somewhere, so I think there's a town right here. We can see signs of siege. So I could go to the west just to keep an eye on wherever the Gothic hordes are, because I'm not really sure about that one, but I think I'm actually going to send him east along the road, where we can see a large Roxolani army currently besieging Vicus Salmate. I don't know if I said that right. Salmate? I don't know, but it's a pretty large force, and they could of course go north immediately afterwards and attack Vicus Vandali, especially now that we've left it open. So I'm going to just constantly retrain units wherever I can there. And I was thinking I'd probably avoid spending denarii on buildings right now, but Shrine to Frigg is still very tempting, because this place could do with a bit more growth, and a bit more income is always going to help. It's only 400 denarii, so let's just go for it. And then over in this town, I'm wondering about just recruiting some peasants, although we can't do that, the population is just too small. But these units are best used in defense rather than as public order surer uppers, so worth bearing that in mind. As Campus Lombardi, we're just going to recruit everything we can, so Lombard archers, anything that's going to help in a fight, we will keep training it. And then Campus Marcomanni is still working on some berserkers, so fairly happy just to continue with that. Which leaves probably a couple of agents. We've got this guy going to have a look at what's going on with the Franks, because things are very sketchy with them. They have a pretty large force here, so if they were to send that to the east, that would cause us some real problems. We've already been to war with them once, and they could of course betray us, and they have at least shown something of an inclination for not siding with us, in that they sided with the Saxons over us when the Saxons attacked us. Likewise, the West Roman Empire, although someone's got to take over this town first before we will have a border with them. Our other units, we have this spy, who is probably the best choice for having a look at what's going on with the Goths. And then I thought that was my diplomat then. There's quite a similar colour scheme. But the Lombardis are particularly vivid in their pinkness or purpleness. I think it's more pink than purple. I'm not really sure. We're going to go have a look at this. And in the meantime, we should be able to see what's going on with this town. So if it is being besieged by Gothic hordes, we will soon know. And we still have an assassin in this particular town. That's an okay success rate, but I wonder if we could... Okay, we can see a lot more about this now. So there are actually 3 family members. Yeah, that's going to be a really hard fight. I don't know how he can see that and we can't. But yeah, there are 3 family members there, so we're going to want as much reinforcement as we can possibly get. And that's probably all we can do in this particular turn. So let's just end it, hope that no one else comes to attack us. The Huns are coming towards us. Hopefully they want peace. We don't actually share a border with them. As the Franks appear to be staying put for now. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Assassinate martyrdoms. Killing Christians, I guess. Not really going to have an impact on the game. So, we still are earning a bit of money. Says our profits are going down, but we at least have some kind of starting treasury, which is nice, although it's not much. We've got a stockade in Campus Burgundii. And I don't think we'll build anything else there. This Gothic diplomat I'm a little bit skeptical of. I'm not sure if he tried to interact with us or not, but if he did, then it must have been a bribe. And we don't know where the Goths are, so got to be a little bit careful with that one. We do have a Sassanid diplomat here, who I don't think we've spoken to yet. So let's offer them trade rights, and let's see if they'll pay us for that. Great. And this is a little bit sketchy because... Of course, we do have the Eastern Roman Empire to worry about, and I'm pretty sure they're at war with them. But it's potentially an easy way of getting some money, so let's just see if we can get 1,000 out of this. That's probably a bit too high. No, they want money from us. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time, because I don't really mind if they say no. Kind of got all we're going to get out of them for this campaign. Trade rights, probably about as much interaction as we're going to have with them. It's probably way too high. I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to ask for merely 200. Okay. I'll take that. I don't know if it actually results in people being less likely to attack us or not, but it feels worth having. And we're going to spy on this guy because I want to know if he comes to attack us. Can we actually fight him off? So he's overwhelmingly cavalry units. Not too surprisingly. So if we fill our town with huge numbers of spear warband, hopefully we can fend them off, but it's looking kind of bad. On the other hand, he chose not to assault the town, which suggests he's going to be going at it for at least 3 more turns. General. And we're just going to send this guy to the west. He's at the edge of a boundary now, so I think now is the time. Can just about afford this. And we're going to send this around. Let's see, what can we see about this guy now? I think it's revealed a little bit more. So he's got some mercenary cav. Saxon keel. I think they're slightly better than spear warband, although these particular levy spearmen are very upgraded, and they apparently are a missile weapon type, so I think they throw a kind of peeler equivalent before they charge. This is a long shot, but it's definitely worth a go. We're just going to go for the one that's most likely to go down, as I'm guessing that did. Oh wow, we took him out. Okay, I'm very lucky. And he's now an even better assassin. So they are just that little bit weaker. We can see a little bit more about them from that, I think. I don't think we could see these mercenary veteranii before, but if we have a look at them, we can see they are 10 attack, 27 defense. So yeah, 442 upkeep, so that's got to be one of the most expensive and powerful units in the game. So I'm still not going to go for this just yet. They don't look like they're going to actually assault the town, and we're not really losing that many units to starvation, so I think that's fairly okay overall. Another thing I should do is cancel this, and then we can afford to spend at least a little bit more money. So let's go for some more spearmen, and I could just cancel that and instead, no, still can't afford the berserkers. Okay, so berserkers isn't happening. Musterfield. I need to be able to train something other than berserkers here, of course, but now doesn't appear to be the time. I'm not going to spend money on buildings right now. Okay, so what else is going on? Alliance announced between Lombardi and Saxons. That was us, so we know about that. Eastern Roman Empire and the Huns are allies. That's interesting and slightly unexpected. Okay. Next up, let's have a look. So this appears to be pretty weakly defended. They've got their, I don't even know how to say this, comitaten, I don't know how to say that. I'm sure there's something I can look up about that. Okay, so the Alemanni are assaulting Campus Burgundii. Definitely worth keeping an eye on this because we'll be next. Looks like we did manage to spy on him, I think. So we can see what he's got. Okay, so he's not terribly strong. He's got some very weak units there. He's bringing peasants. 2 units of peasants, in fact. Pretty weak all round, but obviously this town is also rather weakly defended. And honestly, I will just recruit some peasants because it's better than nothing. Although we haven't built anything in Vicus Vandali yet. And yeah, I think we do want some extra defenders there, so let's cancel the peasants. And that's all our money gone. See what we can do with our diplomats and things. So I'm going to leave this guy here because he's doing quite an important job of checking what's going on with the Franks, which we do need to know about. There is a Frankish army there. Looks like it could be going to the east. Going to also keep an eye on these guys, see how heavily defended they are. Okay, so it's a good sign that the Western Roman Empire are in their lands. Hopefully they'll attack that and draw them back. Okay, I'm going to try and keep an eye on all that because that could have quite a big impact. This guy... Have we spoken to the Sarmatians yet? Can't remember. It's been a little while since I last recorded. I really do want to know where the Vandals are going, but it doesn't look like they're going to cause us any problems, so let's go over here. Yeah, we have already got trade rights with them. Okay. Still, let's see if we can get a bit more money off them. Okay, they're willing to ally with us. The main reason we want to do this is for money, though. 200 worked on the Sassanids. Let's see if it works with these guys. No. Back and forth. It's still worth doing. No. I mean, that's a maybe, but I can't think who their enemies are right now, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure we want to be inviting anyone's wrath by befriending them right now. Trait increase, that will be the... Oh, it's the spy apparently. Okay. And then of course the assassin also improved. And we do still have... Assassin's already moved, other guys have all already moved. So I'm just going to end the turn there. Goths are bribing us. Okay, so that's not what we want to see. And it looks like Aya has decided to go ahead and attack the town. Perhaps he knows our reinforcements are coming. Unfortunately, it looks like we are excluded from the battle zone. So we're just going to have to deal as much damage as we can, and then hopefully finish him off using our faction leader once he arrives. We're going to be going into this with a very small force, only 76 archers. And I don't think we have watchtowers, but we'll see what we can do. So I think, given that they're coming in with 4 different rams, and we have a fairly small number of units here, we're going to try and defend the central plaza instead. We don't know exactly what they have. I should have checked that actually. So this is Mercenary Golden Band, clearly. Behind them they've got, looks like Saxon Keel, I'm guessing. 3 different warlords at the back perhaps, although these appear to be mercenary cav. We know they do have at least 2 warlords, so I'm guessing those are those 2. And then towards the front, what I really want to know is how many archers are they bringing. So these appear to be just standard spearmen. Possibly some archers there with the ram. Yeah, those are archers. And then they've got a few units of peasants, so those are probably a good thing. We actually would rather they have peasants than nothing at all, because we can of course route them fairly easily and then hopefully trigger some kind of mass rout, which is pretty unlikely because this particular unit is backed up by the veterans, who are of course going to be an extremely tough unit to take down, and in particular our spear warbands are probably going to be pretty useless against them. And then there's a second unit of archers, so undoubtedly they have the ranged advantage too, so we don't really have anything going for us. We're just going to have to do as much damage as we can and hope that this doesn't turn into a complete disaster. Any kills we can get are going to help, and I'm going to put our peasants right in the middle here.
This is a disaster! The enemy have broken through our walls! Drive them out!
Yeah, this is a no-hoper.
Unlooked for. The enemy have taken the walls!
But let's do what we can. I might actually send our archers forward, just try and get some easy kills, as there they are now coming towards us. The sooner we can get firing on them, the better. Right here they're bringing peasants and the veterans. A couple of warlords coming in at the back too. Actually, just the one warlord, but a very well defended one. If we can get the kill on one of their generals, that'd be great. And the rest of their units, looks like they're gonna come around from all sides, so definitely worth being aware of that. Probably what I'll have to do is block off this particular side with at least one golden band. So archers not firing just yet. Let's bring them that a little bit closer. Doesn't look like they're bringing in archers from this side, so can definitely do as much damage as we can there while we can. They're slowly creeping around the other side, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit until they come into range at least. As, I'm not sure these 2 units of Spear Warband are going to hold out particularly well against what's coming, but they've not got far to run, so even if they do rout, they're not going to take too many losses, I hope. So I think we could do some damage here, but it does depend a little bit on them rushing in. If they hang back and shoot us with their archers, there's not really much we can do. We're just going to have to take the losses. But let's have a good look. So they're coming around, they're surrounding us by the looks of it. Just how far around are they going? Okay, we're at least firing on them. Let's see, what order are they bringing them in? So it looks like the warlord is leading the charge for now. It's going to be very hard to get the kill on this guy. Obviously, if we kill off most of his bodyguards, that's not actually going to help us very much because those will regenerate. We have to kill the man himself. So where exactly is he? I can't spot him right now. I think it does show up. Yeah, he's there. He's on this side, so he's near the front. If they do actually charge in with these first, that's completely fine. We might actually be able to get that kill. But even then, it's not going to be easy. 39 units, or 39 soldiers in that unit. It's definitely above average. And then coming in behind, I think they have the veterans. Oh, they have got hunters there. Okay, so we want to be shooting them probably. But they've got 2 units of them, so we're going to take some losses inevitably. I'm going to switch to flaming ammo so we can hopefully inspire some kind of rout. As we should definitely have our eye on what's happening elsewhere. So down this side they're not doing too much, they are going to charge in. Currently fairly isolated, so I'm actually going to specifically tell my units to attack. As the losses are stacking up very quickly indeed, and wow, they've instantly broken. Didn't expect it to go quite that bad, but at least they know where to fall back to. As coming in are some peasants, that's not really going to swing things much. Let's have a look, they are wavering. We've managed to kill 5 so far, just 5. Charging in. These guys, although they have axes, they don't actually do armor-piercing damage. So, yeah, this is going to be a pretty terrible matchup too. If I can just get that kill, I might be okay. But it's not looking likely. Yeah, they're taking almost no losses. Okay. No point trying to run away because we're just going to end up losing most of them anyway. And their morale doesn't appear to be too bad. Although they break immediately when I say that, but still, they'd at least lost most of their men by the time that happened. And we've still got about 70 men left with which to attack the Warlords, so once he pushes into the square, I think that'll be okay, and I'm going to try and surround them with our general unit, which is very weak, but still, at least we get the surround. And the peasants will probably break pretty quickly. These guys are supposed to be in skirmish mode, but they clearly have found themselves in hand-to-hand, so that's the end of our archers pretty much. Broken the peasants, not too surprising, but what we really need is to kill off that warlord before the Mercenary Golden Band show up. That it'll at least feel like a very small victory, albeit not very much. It looks like we might be able to get the kill here, but there's a slight risk to our general, who's now being surrounded by the Golden Band. He is, I think, kind of in the town square. Appears to be dead, I think. No, he's still alive. So what have they got left? 8 men. I'm going to target absolutely everyone on him, because if we don't get that kill, this really is a pretty terrible loss. As he's routing, we cannot let him get away. Have to get that kill. Appears to be fighting to the death. Okay, that's fine. Okay, he's dead. That's great. So they've only got the one general now, but we've got pretty much nobody left. Only really the peasants, who are obviously not going to do much. It's really not. It's not much of a defensive force. I'm going to pull these guys back out. I think they already kind of were backing out, but if they can get off a few flaming volleys, we might be able to break one of these less brave units. As that appears to be archers coming in for melee. Makes absolutely no sense that they're doing that, but I wonder now if we can focus on this side. We can probably get some pretty easy kills against them, and I will take the kills wherever I can get them, as we have broken them, and we just have the general left. He's the last one, but hopefully he can get some easy kills as he chases them down, and we'll send the rest to focus on these, the exception of the archers. General's out there on his own. He's getting a few kills. He's getting them mostly against the spearmen, but that's fine. That honestly works completely fine as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to try and pull him out here, as he is going for a heroic last stand, manages to avoid the spears of the levy spearmen. But yeah, okay, I think he's done as bad as much as he can. We're going to pull him back to the town square. Not that the improved morale he brings is going to make any difference at this point, but we might just about be able to scare the Golden Band here if we can charge into the back of them with just the one guy. I'm not sure if that actually has much of an impact at all, but certainly we'll have a go. That's okay, they're routing, that's good. So we have managed to take a few down with us. There are some hunters there, so one cavalry unit is probably not going to do great against them, but honestly, he's done well enough so far, so let's give him a chance. Might be able to kill 1 or 2 of them, and so that was a pretty weak charge, to be honest, I gotta say. Yeah, okay.
The warlord has gone to his ancestors. His warriors still need his guiding hand, the fool.
I don't think we can call him a fool. He did a pretty good job. I don't think we could have asked for much more from him, as okay, the peasants are routing into us. Unfortunately, the archers didn't do so earlier. As bringing in the Saxon keel, I think our Golden Band should be able to handle these 1v1 fairly easily. So I'm not sure where the Warlord is, but if he came in a while ago, that would have caused us some real bother. But the way they're currently fighting it, we are getting quite a few kills, which is about as much as we can hope for. But this appears to be the end, so let's just speed it up and Let's see what happens. Do as much damage as we can. And I would be interested to have a look at the statistics for this one, because
Victory belongs to the cunning enemy.
I have a feeling our spearmen did really badly. Okay, so we got 451 kills. Obviously they got more kills than we did, so in theory that's not a good loss, but we did take down one of their family members and we weakened them quite a lot. So I think that's fairly acceptable. I think we have to besiege them pretty much immediately for this to work. So yeah, our Mercenary Golden Band inflicted nearly 200 casualties, so not a bad unit, definitely. Barbarian Cav took 111, and then the rest of our units pretty terrible all around. Lombard Archers at least got a few kills, but not much. Yeah, I think we have to besiege them immediately, because otherwise they could just retrain their units. I'm not sure this is gonna work out, but at least if we besiege them, they have to come for us. We have lost our town, and that does suck, but we will at least have the initiative in our next fighters. Did they just immediately retrain? I think they did. That's not what we wanted to see. Yeah, they've definitely retrained those hunters.
Killer waiting for orders. He's dead.
Can't even see what they've got in there.
General.
On the other hand, they didn't retrain the peasants. And the wooden palisade appears to still be damaged.
General.
There was definitely a rebel here.
Forward.
Hope it's not going to be an ambush. I mean, can we get there? Yeah, we can get there in 2 turns either way, so I think.
Forward. Ready to ambush.
I'm not risking it. I should, of course, have hired some mercenaries, although actually that was a big loss of money for us. So, yeah, not a lot we can do there. Can't actually spend any money this turn. We're in debt.
He's dead.
Can't see anything with our assassin. Yeah, this is slightly concerning, definitely. These guys are still fighting. Got a spy there too.
At your service.
5% chance of success if we try to spy on his spy, so we're not going to be doing that.
My lord.
Okay, let's see what's going on here. So this is what I feared. I feared that once I left the area, the Franks would be on the move. I don't know where they're going.
At once.
I definitely need to follow the path towards my own towns,
My lord.
just to reassure myself that they're not coming to attack me, which they definitely could be, because I don't appear to be doing or able to do very much right now. Can't spend any money, and I'm not really building anything either. Alright, let's go and follow the Vandals.
At once.
Are they going west?
Master.
They are going west, so it looks like they're going to attack the Huns.
No more moves.
And this guy, I think, honestly, well, we do have to keep him here because the Roxolani could come to the north and attack us, and it would be in their favor to do so. Doesn't die, so that's good. This place is really badly damaged, so hopefully they'll stay in there and repair it for some time. So what's going on with our financial situation? Are we still losing money? Yes, we are. Army upkeep, 4,900. Yeah, we need to
Orders.
launch this attack.
Besieging settlement. Settlement under siege. Lord. Orders. March.
Okay. Bangier's improved. So what's probably going to happen here is they're going to come out and attack us, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to withdraw most of my units from the fight. I'm going to do as much damage as I can with my ranged units, and then next turn immediately besiege them again. I'm not sure if that's going to work that well, but best option I can think of. As, yeah, it's definitely taken a turn for the worse here. Occupied it rather than exterminate it, so that's probably some good news at least, but it's not much. And yeah, there's not really anything else we can do here.
Yes, master.
Got to keep this guy here.
Lord.
Likewise for that guy. They're both kind of doing defensive jobs.
Shall die this day.
Couldn't do anything with the assassin. I guess I could send him back to the south to try and take out the diplomat, but he appears to have moved on. Likewise, the Hunnic diplomat has moved on too. Okay, not a good turn. And these guys are still bribing us. I don't think they're going to succeed, as Aya is going to come out and try and attack us. Let's just see what damage we can do. Knowing what we know, we should perhaps be focusing down the mercenaries in particular. For some reason it's given the Berserkers a ram, which is a terrible use of their skills. Thought I told them to drop it. What's going on? Really got to make sure we keep those Berserkers safe. I'm probably just going to take them off the field altogether. Most of these units we're going to send towards the back. In fact, pretty much all of them. In fact, let's see if we can get into those trees. I'm not sure if those are part of the map. Doesn't look like they are. And then, apart from that, we've got a few units of cavalry and 1 or 2 units of spear warband. So we're just going to run them all off. I think we might as well put them all to run. And let this guy come out. He might come out in a trickle, in which case we'll be able to potentially catch him out, especially with the archers. Depends what he does. So, appears to be taking his time so far. He's not exactly rushing out. I don't think any of his units have made it outside yet. But yeah, we probably want to focus down the mercenary units because we at least know he's not going to retrain those. So that's going to be a big help. And any units that we do attack, we need to wipe them out entirely. As yeah, you can see there's quite a few fully stocked units, and then these weaker units all appear to be the mercenaries. So let's try and clear those out at least. It's not much, but it's at least something. They don't seem to be making any effort whatsoever to come out of their walls, which is really annoying because it once again leaves me with something of a dilemma about how far I'm willing to go to take advantage of that. They should obviously be coming out to attack us. It's their decision to attack us. If they don't come out to attack us and it times out, then we get to maintain the siege. The AI should know better, really. I don't know if it's just in defense mode because its walls are so badly damaged, but right now we just appear to be completely free to do what we like. So I'm trying to take down as much of the Saxon keel as I can. I know I said I'd focus on the mercenaries, but if we focus entirely on some of these other units, we might be able to take down at least one entirely so they can't retrain it. That's, yeah, even with me shooting them, they're still not coming out. So I had this experience very recently on my Scipii campaign, and it looked almost identical to this. There was this kind of curved platform in the settlement, and for some reason the AI just refused to leave it. And now it's happening again. So, I mean, I love this game, but it had certain glitches that were just never fixed. As you can see, these are now starting to drop pretty quickly. I won't overdo this, but honestly, if the game's going to let me do this, this was something I very much wanted to do. I very much wanted to thin out the numbers a bit. So, I mean, depriving myself of that chance purely because the AI is being stupid is not on, really. I'm still going to go and get my kills, and hopefully he'll come out and at least challenge us. So that so far seems fairly unproblematic, making zero effort, and we're now shooting him with so many different units of archers that we can see the numbers are dropping very quickly, and we're probably just going to wipe them out entirely. I expect they will rout. I'm not going to turn the flaming ammo on because that'll just lead to them running away. So yeah, we cleared them out entirely. So I can now switch tact and focus on the levy spearmen. These guys at least have some kind of ranged weapon, so they appear to at least be on the move. And we don't want to chase them down because we don't want to get shot by the Watchtowers. The Watchtowers are going to pretty much get a kill every time they shoot at us. Although, I do wonder if they're perhaps inactive. They're not really doing anything. Perhaps we're just too far away and we're out of range. This is one fairly easy way to find that out. Don't really care if a few of these guys die. Yeah, it's definitely still active. Okay, back off. Not going to go that way. Levy spearmen coming back, a few more of them getting killed. Okay, the watchtower's a bit of a problem. I could perhaps go for the walls. Is it possible to attack a tower with a battering ram? I'm not sure. But that is very off-putting at the moment. Perhaps there is a kind of minimum range we can take advantage of, or a maximum range. We don't want to go across it, that's the thing. Let's see, this is going to keep us safe. I think we're a bit too close. Nope, looks like we're going to get away with that, so that's good. Are we able to shoot from here? Yes, we are. We're able to shoot the Saxon keel. So we're just going to do as much damage as we can. I think that's fine, honestly. Backing off. Took quite a few kills. If nothing else, it costs them money to retrain them. Obviously, we would much rather just wipe out the units entirely. But yeah, this is... I think this is a glitch, because it makes zero sense for the AI to be doing this. I think what confuses me most is they've literally brought their archers down to the walls, and they're just refusing to use them. They're just leaving them there. They're not putting them in range. They're trying to keep them out of range, but they're not actually attacking us with them. And they could do some real damage to us if they did, but I'm just going to put this one down as the AI just completely lost its mind. That's how it goes sometimes. We can put some kind of law reason on it. Let's say they were just, I don't know, maybe the general was sick and they all lost their morale and decided not to come out. But obviously this is not an ideal way of thinning out their numbers. I feel like we could have actually won this fight if we had drawn them out one by one into the field. We could have probably chased them down, but we've done a huge amount of damage to them there. And yeah, the thing is, like I said, I'm not willing to lose an opportunity to do some damage to them just for the sake of accepting when the AI is screwing up. Because if the AI wasn't screwing up, I still would have got some kills. So I'm not willing to just withdraw from the fight. I'm still going to get my kills. I got a few more than I perhaps should have, but there you go. So the Alemanni are spying on us, not too surprising. They're probably going to come for us next. So it's looking pretty bad all around, and we probably needed a chance to do a bit of damage to these guys. As I should perhaps send this guy to defend Campus Burgundii as we're getting deeper and deeper into debt. It's really not looking too great. So I don't think we're quite close enough here, unfortunately. So could have one more day of Saxons attempting to leave their town and failing. But we've done some damage to them. They're definitely a little bit weaker. I wouldn't be surprised if they just don't come out now. It does appear that the number situation appears to be swinging in our favour, as Campus Lombardi is spending an obscene amount on, I guess, unit upkeep, but I don't feel like we have that many units. It's kind of crazy how much we're spending. It does appear to be unit upkeep though. We're spending 3,899 per turn on unit upkeep. So I'm not sure who we're paying this much. Maybe the Berserkers? No, it's only 188 to pay them, so they're not too bad. Spear Warband are fairly reasonably priced as well. I know some of the Mercenary units are pretty expensive. Yeah, these guys, there are only 15 of them and we're paying them 61 per turn. But this place is pretty weakly defended, and I don't really want to leave it any less well defended. So I don't really know what to make of that. Sarmatians and Sassanids broke their alliance and then re-allied, and then the Sarmatians also became allies of the Roxolani, and then the Sarmatians ended their war with the Goths. Okay, I don't know what to make of that. Campus Lombardi has finished its building, but we're getting deeper and deeper into debt. I wonder about just assaulting Campus Burgundii now. Couldn't do it this turn, but possibly next turn. We might just have to do it that way, because the money situation is bad and it's getting worse, and we can't really afford to be giving up these units. Campus Lombardi is still a bit of a border town. We do have this guy, Vithicab. He's pretty young, but he's pretty good. Wonder if we perhaps send him after the Saxons. They might not be weak enough for us to actually get away with that, but we do have this spy. I kind of want to keep him around here, but I suppose we'll try going with the assassin instead. Might spot a relief force on its way too. No. Okay, looks like we're going to have a pretty clean shot at getting Campus Burgundii back. And I think the rest of our units are all doing relatively important things. Let's see what's going on with the Vandals. They have not decided to attack Colonia Dacia just yet, but it looks like they're building up for an attack. And then This guy doesn't have too much to be doing. He hasn't managed to spot any Franks. I think what I might do... Just going to check this first. I could potentially leave him at Campus Burgundii instead, and then send my spy over to the Saxon lands. I'm not sure about that though. It's a little bit risky because then we're not spying on the Franks anymore. Now, I don't think we can dismiss these. I don't understand why, but I don't think we can. And I don't know how much we're paying this guy. He's pretty old, fortunately, so he's going to die off at some point. We won't have to pay his salary anymore, but the money situation is becoming a real problem, but I don't really see what we can do about that. Goths, I don't think, are going to be successful at their attempts to bribe Vicus Vandali. We have got a family member in there, which makes it extremely unlikely that they will succeed. And we can now join up with Burkhard. And we've got a 4-star general. And they still have completely open gates from when they damaged it themselves. And I think we stand a pretty good chance if we just go ahead and attack them. It's not the way I wanted to do it. I'd much prefer for them to come to us. That's what I tried to make happen in the last fight, but if we can soften them up enough with our range superiority, we might be able to go in and do a nice bit of damage. So we can see that in terms of infantry, we're not really any stronger than we were before. We just really got the 3 units, one of which is Berserkers, which is always nice, but not really enough. So it's going to be hard to make the push. We have to at least try and do some damage with our ranged units first, as we know for a fact they don't have Watchtowers in this front area. So let's send most of our units in, and we need to be prepared to come in very quickly because they might come out of the walls this time, and our archers could be a little bit vulnerable, so we're going to keep our warlords pretty close. Something like this should do. I'm going to try and put these guys on loose formation, although as you can see they already were, so I'm not sure why they're not listening. Still, we're getting a few kills already, which is good. We're going to have to really be careful when we push into this, as they do have the Mercenary, Veterinari there now. And these guys are the real threat. I think our Berserkers could probably take them 1-to-1, but we need to soften them up as much as we can. So it looks like they're not actually willing to come out and fight us once again. But this time we're going to actually make a push. We're going to push into the town. We're going to take the walls and hopefully nullify these watchtowers. So the veterans have come back to the front. I think if we focus those down, that's definitely going to be worth doing. And everything else is perhaps not a massive threat. They do have quite a few spear-based units, which is going to be a problem because about half of our forces are cavalry. But I'm still most worried about these and their ability to fight off our own spear warband. You can see they're taking the shots pretty well, but we've still got most of our ammo left, so we're going to soften them up as much as we can before we go in. Our archers begun firing on these, but once again they have kind of pulled back, although we're still getting quite a few kills as they leave our range. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to speed this up until they leave, and then we're going to go in, try and set up some kind of formation where they have to come to us. I think once we actually go into the walls, they are going to make some effort to come and fight us. But in the meantime, we'll do what we can with our range superiority. I don't know why these guys are now getting shot. I think there's a very close maximum range on that watchtower we have to be careful of. If we just run in now, the thing is I only have like half a unit of spear warband. Yeah, this is like half a unit of spear warband, and then, well, maybe 2/3 of a unit, and then these guys are maybe 3/4 of a unit. Yeah, so as you can see, there's definitely some kind of glitch that happens with this particular bank, which was never fixed between the time of Rome Total War and the time of Barbarian invasion. I think we've spent almost all of our ammo now, and this unit is still going relatively strong. Still, it's fairly vulnerable to our generals. You have to bear in mind... Crap, we're being shot. You have to bear in mind that they don't have spears, which means they're going to be one of the best choices for fighting with our leader. So let's try and break them. And in the meantime, we're going to send in our 2 units of Spear Warband just to hold the wall. So these guys are coming out. We got hit by a round of Peeler, but hopefully we'll break them pretty quickly now that we've made it in. Next to us we've got Levy Spearmen, so we can easily rout those. I've managed to successfully rout the veterans. Got a few units of Levy Spearmen coming in to fight us by the looks of it, but they're going to get shot to pieces by our archers. So let's take out the Levy Spearmen on the other side. These guys are ranged units, so you have to be a little bit careful of that, but they are going to take losses very quickly as they get into range of our many units of archers. And you can see I'm keeping the Lombardi Berserkers in reserve, as looks like the general is on his way. I don't think Berserkers do great against cavalry units, but obviously these alone are going to have some trouble, so let's send them in. And we need to be prepared to send in our Warlord to hit theirs, so these appear to just be mercenaries for now, but still they're going to come in, they're going to do some damage, so let's try and take them out as much as we can. So this should be a pretty good matchup for us, and in fact the volley alone, by the looks of it, managed to frighten them off. Okay, wouldn't be surprised if the Warlord comes down for a go now, and that's going to be much more of a danger. But I think we can safely get our archers in. Try and lock all this down. We've not really got enough units to really hold the path successfully, but Berserkers are great at scaring opposing infantry. So if they come in with their spears, we can handle those. I'm still getting shot by the Watchtower by the looks of it, so it looks like not really anything you can do about that, even if you do take the walls. And it's kind of annoying, because they do quite a lot of damage actually. Probably already lost about 20 soldiers to that, but looks like we're out of range again now, so that's good. And we're just going to slowly push on them. And hopefully spend our arrows before we actually get forced to engage them in close combat. So they've got hunters there, possibly coming in. I can probably actually just charge these down with my Warlord, which may in fact lure his own Warlord into the fight, and that'd be fine. If we can take him out, that's going to be huge. Should be able to break the rest of their morale pretty quickly, and even if they do fall back to the town square, we can of course just shower them with arrows until there's almost no resistance left. Slight risk of friendly fire here, as maybe it's this building here that somehow screws up the pathfinding. I'm not really sure, but my general is making a pretty feeble attempt to get involved. And so there's some more hunters over there. It's a little bit risky because he has a Warlord there, but we do have about twice his number. I'm not at all worried about the Levy Spearmen there. I think I'm just going to come in and have a go. As, if we do try to get up here, we need to make sure we don't find ourselves trapped on the downhill path. I'm expecting this Warlord to come in any minute now. So we seem to have broken most of their units. Thing is, even if we do win this fight, we've got major problems to deal with. Our debt situation is really bad, and I don't recall this settlement being that profitable. It has quite a large population, which was obviously shouldering a pretty significant part of the unit upkeep, but even so, I think we're going to face some problems. It's going to take several turns to get our income back, so we're going to be sitting ducks for some time, and we have to be prepared for the Alamanni to come and attack us, because we already know they're considering doing so. Broken the second unit of hunters, so we've got absolute range superiority now, and it looks like it's just the Warlord left. In the middle they've still got a few peasants and a very small number of mercenary cav who we've already routed once, so they're going to have very low morale. And this is the point where we can pretty much just press on them and shoot them until they break, or until they come to fight us, in which case hopefully our berserkers will be able to take them out. Don't know about risking my berserkers here, but they could do a pretty good job in that final fight. It's going to be hard to involve the generals now. I wonder about sending them around the side. I need to I think I need to keep at least one of them close to improve the public order situation. We're going to send the other guy around the side, so we can hit them from both angles. As archers are not really managing to get particularly involved so far. Let's bring them a little bit closer. Got one general around the side. Second general ready for the Warlord. Just need to lure him in now with a few volleys. This looks like we have to get very close indeed by the looks of it. Okay. Let's move a little bit closer with these. Bit worried for the Berserkers. We can only really retrain them in that one town. So we don't really want to be taking those losses if we can avoid it. So archers are at least firing now on the Warlord. I'm guessing he's going to come in. Yeah, looks like he is. Okay. Let's charge in with our own Warlord on the other side, as actually looks like he's changed his mind. That's fine. If we can just pull him back before he gets himself screwed. There's a few hunters there, we can probably kill those off. Okay, archers are mostly firing. Barbarian peasants going to come in, not at all worried about them, they're going to break. But okay, they've actually managed to get into close quarters. I think they got like one kill. General is not willing to take the fight. Seems to have given in to cowardice of some form. We could probably even take the middle here. But then we're going to be forced to fight him. I imagine once the flag turns to our colour, that's going to be the final straw, as he's potentially coming in now. I'm not really sure. Okay, let's just send everyone in. I'm even going to send in the Berserkers. They've now gone berserk. And we should see them running in. Yeah. Okay, so let's try and involve them. A little bit risky for our general here, but number situation very much in our favour, and we need to end the friendly fire. So, okay. One of our guys is routed. Berserkers are going in. I don't think they're great against cavalry, but this is surely in our favour. If our faction leader dies, he's pretty old. It's not the end of the world. It's more important that we keep the other man alive. Can't remember his name. I think he's got a funny name though. Burkhard, that's it. Got to keep Burkhard alive. There we go.
Victory is...
Alright. So that mostly came in the form of the Saxons being extremely foolish, but still, we've got our town back, and we're at least on the road to recovery. So, obvious thing to do now is to take out what we can of the Saxons, as they do actually have a second force coming in quite strong. Once again, lots of mercenaries. Okay, so we're not going to be able to retrain for some time, so we're still going to have a bit to fight off. We can have a go at taking this guy out. It's 26% chance of success, and not so lucky that time, gets slain by the bodyguards. Okay, so still got some problems to deal with, but we've at least liberated Campus Burgundii, and presumably we're going to be making profit again. No? Income, yeah, income's much higher than expenditure, so we should be making money again after this, but yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. Hopefully we're now ready. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time for part 5.